Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to have Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis in the studio. How are you,
doing?
Sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. And we want to make sure we have people follow you on social media because we're going to talk a little bit about social media. But let's make sure we say right away where they can follow you. Which social media platforms are you on?
I have a Facebook page, Sioux Falls Hypnosis. I have a LinkedIn page. You can look me up by name. That's Daniel Burow, Dr. Daniel Burow. You can also look up Sioux Falls Hypnosis on LinkedIn. And I'm on TikTok. Just look for Sioux Falls Hypnosis on TikTok and YouTube as well.
Nice.
Sioux Falls Hypnosis, or just look up my name.
Very, very cool. And if I go to SiouxFallsHypnosis.com,
there'll be links to all that.
All that. Okay, very, very good. So the reason I wanted to bring that up first is because, again, with hypnosis, you do hypnosis to help people lose weight, to help people quit smoking. But another thing that is kind of a big deal is dealing with stress,
right?
And struggling with that. And social media can be a gigantic source of stress, can't it?
Social media, single-handedly one of the most interesting and potentially useful things that we have in our world. But at the same time, I would say it's probably one of the most damaging, maybe even harmful.
Misused?
Kind of misused. Yeah. I mean, it's not the fault of social media, it's us. It's how we use it, but it's certainly a problem.
There are things that have become normal. Keyboard warriors. There are things that have become normal that we just now, that's what people do. And I try to avoid any sort of dispute.
Right.
I've had people that want to argue and I just, I'm not going to do that.
The way I always look at social media is there's no nuance in social media.
No.
And there has to be nuance in life. There has to be nuance in reality. There has to be nuance between people. There has to be. And so when we're talking about that there's no nuance in social media, it has to be okay to disagree with one another.
Yeah.
We cannot, it can't be a constant environment where you're defending and attacking. If that's what your experience of social media is like, or, the experience of people around you, that's not helpful at all.
Yeah.
There's no nuance in that because there's no way to learn anything. The promise inherent in social media is the potential to learn, to make your world bigger, to make things more useful in some way. But when it's not okay to disagree with one another, we're not learning anything.
Well, and for me, personally, I've seen this get out of control over and over, where it's not even that we disagree. Somebody misunderstood what was said. Then they misconstrued it, and they said, here's what you meant by that.
Right, and when we're on social media, we're not face-to-face, so we're missing all those secondary channels of communication that we normally use to read each other.
And there used to be a time where you could say, I like strawberries, and people go, oh, that's cool, I like strawberries too.
No, my God, strawberries are awful.
So what you're saying is you hate raspberries and you hate peaches? I'm like, no, I like strawberries.
And the thing about that is when you bump into that, there's nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Nothing useful is happening there.
No.
If you're doing it or you're participating in it, nothing useful is happening.
And if you're seeing life through that lens, where when somebody says that they like something, you assume that they hate everything that they didn't say they like.
Right, and that's kind of the second thing that's up with social media is no matter what you do, no matter what you say. I mean, I put out a social media post this morning on TikTok, and I've gotten quite a solid beating because no matter what you do or where you come from, you can't be all things to all people.
No.
You're putting out a particular point of view, your point of view. And it's never exactly, it doesn't exactly ever cover everything. It doesn't actually cover all the nuance. It doesn't address all of the other people's perspectives on this. And so what happens then is then they can become reactive and get into this thing where, you're not right. And what it really is on social media is everybody's trying to steal power from somebody else. You jump all over them so that you can be right. I mean, that's what social media has become, is a place where you get to be right.
But I hope people understand that doesn't help your agenda at all.
And nobody learns anything. And that's the promise that's inside social media.
I've never seen anybody win a fight on social media.
No.
Two people lose the fight, or maybe 12 people lose the fight if they're all in it.
Because it's not okay to disagree, so there's no way to ever arrive anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, we were just talking about, on social media, everybody's trying, well, not everybody, but it can become problematic because people are trying to be right.
Yeah.
And the thing that you absolutely need to have to learn something is it has to be okay to be wrong.
Oh, yeah. I'm wrong a lot. Just ask Heidi.
Right. But on social media, that you don't see, you see much more of the, you're wrong and you don't like raspberries and all this than you do. You know what? I didn't hit that quite right. That's not exactly what I meant, and I'm sorry about that. And I didn't cover that, and I didn't think about that. And gosh, I only had so much time, and I can't incorporate all this. it has to be okay to be wrong. Not only does it have to be okay for me to be wrong, but it has to be okay for me to allow other people to be wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not what's happening out there. And it's, again, the potential is that it's supposed to be a place where we can learn, grow, get bigger, bring more into our world. But it seems as though, and maybe I'm wrong, it seems as though we're doing it almost exactly the opposite of that.
Yeah. And again, that's really sad. We've got such a powerful tool that I think is being used wrong by so many, so often. If somebody listening is struggling with stress, whether it's social media related or otherwise, if they would like to get some assistance from Sioux Falls Hypnosis, how do they get a hold of you? How does that process work?
Look me up on the web, SiouxFallsHypnosis.com, or you can call me directly at 605-702-6691.
Very nice. Again, his website, SiouxFallsHypnosis.com. And if you maybe caught the tail end of this program, or if you want to hear any of the past programs, now I've got everything packaged nice and neat and a really cool little spot, and that is at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.